Hello and welcome to the Dead Air
Wrong
Dudes.
show.
I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka. May the force be with you, and this is the way.
This is the way. Welcome back to our Mandalorian season finale review. We're going to review both the season finale and episode 4, either episode 7 and 8 of season 2 or chapter 15 and 16 of the whole saga. Let's start with chapter 15 for episode 7, The Believer, which brings us back to Bill Burr's character, Mayfield, who is the sharpshooter who gets broken out or gets a pardon by Cara Dune. And Rock, take it away.
All right, let's bust out our lightsabers and dissect this baby. So, in a non-surprising way, the Mandalorian has to gather a troop, a posse to go get baby Yoda, Gorgonzola, and so he reels in.
Who?
Yes, that guy. He already reels in Gina Carano's character, Cara
Dune.
Cara Dune, and knows that he needs help. Now, first to locate baby Yoda, they need somebody who can crack the Imperial code. And you're right, they have to go to the prison. Um, it's a very lighthearted episode. There's humor, but the setup and the buildup is really to go get the location of Moff Gideon. At the same time, what is accomplished here is as they infiltrate the base and they do locate Moff Gideon, there is a old Imperial commander of Mayfield, and Mayfield just can't let sleeping dogs rest.
No,
And he invites him for a drink. And the other part that is very pivotal.
That Imperial officer played wonderfully by Richard Blake of Three from Hell and 31 Rob Zombie films and a bunch of other ones.
Yeah, they've, like we speculated from the very onset. Again, we'll get to it later. Fabulous job on keeping a lid on different actors and an all-star cast. And everyone, their mother in Hollywood has now been knocking on the door to get a piece of
Everyone's a piece of Mando. Now, obviously, you know that also it's you cannot compete the crew without Fennec, played by Ming-Na Wen, and you have, of course, Boba Fett, played by Tamura Morrison.
Now, I think the one thing that really is accomplished in this, it's like one of those episodes you're like, why? What? Why? Just the whole episode dedicated to get Moff Gideon's location. No, I think what is accomplished here is Mando has changed. In many ways, he has left his entire credo behind him because he's caring for the child. Case in point is he would never, ever in the past, even if it meant compromising the mission, reveal his face.
Well, obviously, for all those who have not seen it, I apologize. This is full of spoilers, so get with it, get ready, strap on your helmets, and Mando.
He does not take off. He straps off his helmet so that the scanner can read his face. He was at that moment where everything could be lost, everything could be for naught, but it is clear for a blind man to see. He doesn't just care for this baby Yoda. He loves the kid. He doesn't care about his credo. He doesn't care about the Mandalorian way. He doesn't care about all this stuff. If it meant taking off his mask, I'll take off my mask. If it meant getting this scumbag out of prison so I can find a way, I will get him out of prison. If it meant taking basically a suicide mission to go inside an Imperial cruiser and to get him out, he will do so. And I think that's the biggest thing accomplished in this episode.
Which is also said you have that that speech at the end where he contacts Moff Gideon and he tells him basically, you have something I want and something that I really care about. I'm paraphrasing here, and something that I'm going to come and get, and he means more to me than you will ever know. And that,
which is mirroring the first episode.
yeah, and which is the first time you actually see a hint, a glimmer, a speck of fear in Moff Gideon's face.
Yeah, because Mando means business, and it has now become personal.
Yes,
And
and
it was a fantastically scripted, well done. The buildup is amazing.
yeah, I mean, look, it was. Some people would say, "Oh, it was a filler episode, or it was a subpar episode. It wasn't as good as the previous one was Ahsoka, or it's not as good as the last one." But I think it was an integral episode to build up the characters. You also gave a backstory to Mayfield and his character, and it showed
Where
that
he's willing to go, how committed he is to this thing.
not only that even they even go into even further in the last episode how even in the Empire, the people who don the suits, who are excuse me, who are the stormtroopers, who are the Imperial leaders or whatever, not the big scumbags, but the people who actually the grunts are people, and
Yes.
not all are bad. They,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, maybe they've been born into that, or maybe they're confused, or maybe they believe a certain thing that they've been brought up to for all their lives.
And Mayfield brings that point out when he has that drinking meeting with the Imperial commander, that he was on that last mission, that apparently heralded mission that went bad, where his fellow buddies, and I guess that was his breaking point to break away from the Empire, his grunts, his brothers, who had families, who had lives, who had loved ones, died, and they meant nothing to the greater good of restoring order to the universe.
Hmm.
And he just sat there. And I think that is a moment we all hate him because he's a scumbag, but that's a moment we understand why he is where he is now, because he's been filled with such hatred and vengeance towards the Empire that you could feel it. It's palatable. It drives him. It's not just he's out for money and quick cash and he's a pirate, a space pirate, and all that stuff. No, part of him is also he's pissed. He's angry. And you see it at the end when he blows up the entire um he takes the shot. He said, I'm gonna blow up this baby. He
Blows
blows that whole place up.
Flattery, and that leads to him getting a quote unquote pardon because he quote unquote dies in the blast, and he didn't let him go.
And that segues us into the final episode, which I'm just gonna say it right from the get-go, is glorious.
Yeah.
I must say, with no hyperbole intended, that this has been one episode has been one of the better one of the better cinema that I've seen in a long, long time. And I'm not in the movie theater. This is an episode. This to me elevates The Mandalorian and the entire series so far. Call it what you will, call me crazy, a Star Wars head or whatever. It's now up there to me, like Game of Thrones, like other great series, where it's taken an epic.
You know what? I can see that because it was originally for me a love song, an ode to the Star Wars fan. Here we're giving you what you love. This is all classic stuff, the spaghetti western type gunslinger with the kid and and all your favorite stuff that you enjoyed. But now it's taken a step above into something that is actually
More than what it is.
even greater storytelling, great dialogue, and it's just a compelling story. And of course, they give you all your fanboy and fangirl moments, which there's plenty of those.
They, they have successfully reached out to every corner of the Star Wars universe and melded together.
Yes.
So
Without
you have Boba Fett, him, Mandalorian, Fennec, um, Bo-Katan, her right arm. That's a pretty good. Oh, and Kara. This is an elite force he has assembled
Yeah.
to get up into an Imperial battle cruiser.
Yeah.
And by themselves, they kick royal ass.
Yeah, but let's not forget you have some cool when Boba Fett meets Bo-Katan. They have a pretty cool, you know, like meeting, and automatically when Mando and Boba and Fennec and Cara they go to talk to Bo-Katan to join their merry band of misfits. They already noticed, Boba, and they're like, "You're not a Mandalorian," and he has to go through the whole machinations of saying, "You know what?
I've never said it was.
Never said it was. This is my dad's armor. It's mine now." Oh, again, spoilers abound, people.
If you haven't watched it by now, screw you. Yeah, you can go watch something else.
You go,
Flintstones are on.
Bo-Katan says something to the effect, I'm paraphrasing, you're a clone.
Yes, in which he is.
He's not your father. You're a clone.
Again, this is the beauty of the episode where the climax of the entire season. You bring in the Clone Wars. You bring in the whole Mandalorian race and the whole planet and how they lost everything to the Empire. You bring in the fragmented Empire. You bring in the Republic that's not doing their job to unify the galaxy. You bring in Baby Yoda and the Force. You bring in Cara, who's damaged goods from being a rebel fighting the Imperial and trying to find a way in the New World. There's so many fragments of the Star Wars universe that's intertwined masterfully. Not just in one episode, but the entire journey of the 2 seasons. But the pinnacle is right here in this season finale, which ranks to me up there in top 5 season finales I've ever seen.
I mean, I've never seen, I tend to glance at IMDb and look at episodes. Sometimes you check the reviews to see what they get. This episode, as of, geez, I'm not even sure how many reviews, how many ratings, but it gets a 9.9, which I don't think I've ever seen.
It's historic.
9.9. And that's
We have
over 32,000 ratings. So
we have an epic battle with Moff Gideon and the Mandalorian with that dark saber.
we do.
I mean,
All right.
he kicks ass.
Breaking it down, they have to find a way to get inside the starship. They capture Dr. Pershing, which there we get another glimpse into the Empire, another glimpse behind the curtain of the people who are within the Empire, where you had the 2 pilots, and you had one, he grabs the doctor, and he's like, I'm gonna kill him. This guy's worth whatever, so much to the cause and this and that. And the guy's like, I'm not with this guy. He kills his partner, and when he goes, and he mentions what a shithole everybody lived in, and how the rebels are a bunch of terrorists in their mind,
because they want to restore order.
Exactly. That's the mentality, which is something that was never even broached anywhere else before. For all of Lucas's great. That's the beauty of
well, again, the whole Star Wars saga from the 1st to the 12th to the whole thing takes a very lofty kind of fairy tale ride, right? Yes. In that they don't get that deep. They do sprinkle in a little bit of each one's backstory, but they don't get too deep. The beauty of the Mandalorian series is they get very deep.
Well, yeah.
They have the ability to, because I know they have episodes, they can run deep. They go very deep in that now they bring you, the audience member, beyond the whimsical phantasm of theatrical display and the sci-fi machinations, they get beyond all that smoke and they really make it. I'm dissing The Walking Dead and stuff like that. They make the drama come to you without losing the awe of the sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because you're truly vested with the Mandalorian to protect the Baby Yoda, who's like apparently indirectly kind of like Messiah-like. Most of the Jedis are gone, wiped out, killed, assassinated. The evil guys want a piece of him and his DNA. The good guys supposedly want to save him because he has this force. He's special and he's so damn cute. Again, without going into every act in this, let's cut to the chase. Let's get to the head. The Mando finally takes out Moff Gideon because, come on, he's no match for Mando. And Mando comes out as a superior warrior. You know, he has the beautiful staff.
After all the fighting and on the ship, which they dispatched so many stormtroopers and so many, you know, guards and whatever else, we have the dark troopers are on ship, and we find out that the dark troopers, they're robots. They eliminated the human element, which was the fatal flaw, and they are robots. So there's about a whole, what do you call it? Like a
whole battalion of
it's like at least
souped up droids.
Yeah, it's like 20 or 30 of them. I didn't count, but I mean it was a bunch.
I mean, they're hammering with their fists.
Yep.
The, I don't know, 3-foot steel doors, and they're making a dent. And Moff Gideon makes that point where he says, and they gave him a great role. He's to the very end a sharp tongue.
Well,
he pretty much can outwit anybody on that vessel. He's
smarter than everyone there.
He is so smart and so cunning and so sly. And he tells him, you know, you can wipe out all the stormtroopers all you want. Good luck with these guys. They're going to carve you up. And for a moment, those on board, the party of 6 Mando, know they're pretty much going to die. But let's go out on a glorious, noble blaze of glory, because these robots, only 2 of them are beating the door down. How are you going to beat the rest of them?
You know that because it took Mando cheese to defeat one of them. He was getting his ass beat, and to defeat one. So after he shuttles them all out into the vacuum of space, they all come back, obviously, because they can fly. And this is where the shit.
This is it, baby. This is it. This is where you get that giddy feeling of, oh my God.
Something has to happen. They can't all die. Maybe Boba's going to come save them.
This is perfectly executed because here comes the X-Wing fighter from The View. And everybody's watching The View, including Moff Gideon. And now you see, he, to the very last bit, he's got this little smirk, you know, he's got this swagger like, I'm gonna upend everything. I'm still in charge. I'm still gonna win this thing. And then he starts seeing the jet come, and he's great. He's a great actor. You see the fear in his face now, like, oh shit. And once that plane lands and Bo-Katan makes that wise crack, or somebody makes the wise crack, oh, now we're saved. You know, 1 fighter, we're good. No. And this is the moment where if you're like me and you're a pretty hardcore Star Wars fan, you got that tingly feeling coming down your spine. And you see the dark robed figure come out, and then the lightsaber lights up. And you're like, oh shit, here we go. And you kind of know who he is. You don't know for certain, but you know who it is. And he walks through the army of super droids, the dark troopers, and like Swiss cheese, and almost Vader-like fashion, holds one, slices one, dodges the labor shots like they weren't even there. This was like a training exercise.
Yeah.
and in a master Jedi fashion, marches his way towards the bridge. Holy, Moff Gideon gets that point where he knows shit is going down. He's about to cap his own self.
Who it is when you see the black glove, and then you see finally when they show the lightsaber burn green,
You know who it is.
you know it's Luke.
I mean, the turning point in the way they
Yourself,
captured it.
you're like, wait a second, how the fuck can it be Luke? And then you think
It has to be Luke.
it has to be Luke. Luke was still around when this is going on.
Luke was the reason, in addition to Han Solo and the whole crew, and even Princess Leia, but he was the reason why um, him and Vader took down the Emperor, and the Ewoks celebrated, and everything was la di da at the Return of the Jedi conclusion.
You saw that last Dark Trooper, the last one, how he just crushed him.
Oh,
A force, like he crushed him with the force, and you know it almost
like it was the last of the 6-pack that you just sent to the recycling center.
almost showed like he wanted to prove how much power he had.
It really was like they weren't even there. I mean, those are the Dark Troopers. That was like the invincible elite corps, the Super Marines, the top SEAL team, whatever you want to call them. And he just walked through them like they didn't exist. And
You know what? We need to backtrack a little bit because this is just to build up what's to happen next. When they split up into two parties, you had Bo-Katan, Bo-Katan, Cara Dune, Fennec on one side. Boba Fett was the diversion, so he disappeared. He left, so he wasn't on the ship. While Mando was looking for Grogu. Now, when they reach the main bridge, Bo-Katan and crew, Moff Gideon is nowhere to be found there. So they're like, shit, what the hell happened? When Mando, after he dispatches of the one Dark Trooper, he goes to the prison cell to save Grogu, and there's Moff Gideon holding the dark saber. They get into it, they discuss, and then he explains to Mando why Bo-Katan, her in her savage ways, wants the dark saber, because who wields the dark saber wields the power of royalty in Mandalore. Okay? Now, onto that. The dark saber is something akin to a lightsaber, just dark. After defeating Moff Gideon in battle, Mando has a dark saber. Now, sorry, go back, Rocco.
that opens the subplot of who is now heir to the throne of Mandalore.
Because
You have to win in battle.
Moff says, basically, you idiot.
Yeah.
Mando tries to give Bo-Katan the sword, and she's like, I can't take it. And he's like, why not? Here. And he goes, you dumbass. Yeah, you have to win it in battle. And he's like, no, I don't want to. Here, take it. And she's like, no, I can't. He's right. And then Moff Gideon says something, the legend is more important than the actual.
Than the power of the sword itself.
And the sword itself.
I mean, again, they have scripted Moff Gideon with some of the best lines. Because that moment where Mando beats him and he has the Beskar staff like right at his neck, he goes, "You're not going to kill me? Oh, this should be good." It's akin to a lot of the mafia movies. Let me tell you. Like, no, you should kill me. I'm telling you, you should kill me.
Pretty much.
And the ritual rite of power and I guess the transfer of power for Mandalore, which is Bo-Katan's like life mission to take the throne, is now she's fucked.
Pretty much.
And Mando's like, nah, I yield. Here. Just take this shit. Again, setting this the tone was set from the prior episode. He at this point cares nothing almost for the Mandalorian way. He wants the safety of the kid.
I mean, he does, but his primary goal is to save the kid. He still
Right.
cares.
So he could care less about the ritual. He could care less about the Mandalorian heir
More
to.
about his creed,
Yeah, he's thrown all like
cult
you,
that he's in, quote
you
unquote.
gotta appreciate that he's gotten to this, I guess, evolutionary state where he's been most of his life kind of like a blind leader to these laws, rules, and regulations. And he does run across a few people that go, "You're kind of foolish believing these old ways, archaic stuff. You gotta live for yourself. You gotta live for now. You gotta live for the kid." And that's why he doesn't care about the throne. He doesn't care about the passage of power. He needs now you've got the dark troopers, and then Luke comes, and it is the bittersweet moment. And again, he reveals his face only a few times in the entire 2 seasons. And Gorgu touches his mask, and he takes it off willingly, no problem. This is how my face is. I want you to remember it. Maybe I will never see you again. Remember my face, kind of like a father to the son. Touching as it is, you show everything that Mando is, and I dare say, even by throwing away all the
Here,
noble things, he's actually more noble than before because he don't give two shits about this crap.
here, Raka shed one solitary tear. I was bawling like a baby, but even
I believe your pillow's still dry.
you mean still wet.
Well, hey, that's on you and your issues.
So basically, so Luke, and we forget how douchey Luke Skywalker is after Jedi. Like he's like, he's like, I'm here, whatever. I'm here. I'm taking him. Say goodbye, dude.
All right, you make it sound like he came out like Magic Mike. And he said he dropped his robe and be like, "You think this is a lifesaver? Look at this, baby. Bow down to this."
After what he did to the to the Dark Troopers,
Of course.
well, he basically did that. He was
Okay.
going around everywhere.
So he takes the kid, and not to wrap it up, but I mean that's what happens, and we're left again the bittersweet moment of he has fulfilled his promise to the child, and now he's hurting bad.
Yeah, because Luke, one of the last things Luke says, he says he's like, go ahead, kid. Go. This is what you need. This is he'll take care of you. And then Luke says something to the effect, he's waiting for your permission.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole thing. And then you have beep boop beep boop boop beep boop boop beep boop boop. R2D2 comes out, and they have that whole little funny kiddie stuff, which was cute, whatever, and how Grogu and R2D2 they kind of interact and whatever. So,
But again, it was a very chilling moment because you have what's going on, and then you also have everybody's memory banks of that's freaking Luke Skywalker. He
yeah,
just displayed his Jedi might. The baby's gone. Mandalorian future is up in limbo. Mando's a total emotional wreck. Where does the Empire go from here? Where does the Republic go from here? It's a fucking big holy shit moment.
yeah, and then it ends, which to the point at that point you can almost say that Mando Din Djarin's story is complete.
Right, because speculation is that's it for Mando because there's two other offshoots.
But there's more now. Reports came out, but I'll give you the details after the last part. But yes, there's going to be. We have Mandalorian was renewed for season 3, which should be coming out in December of 2021, along with the Ahsoka spinoff and the Rangers of the New Republic. Now, all 3 shows, as stated in a previous episode, watch it, will coincide with one another and the same timeline, and will end in a climactic crossover of galactic proportions. So now you have Bo-Katan, where she was looking all scared out of shit because she's got to somehow get the dark saber or fight Mando for her. You have her right hand woman right there. You have Kara doing what she's gonna do. Is she's gonna continue, go back and play sheriff, take Moff Gideon, have that issue. Then you got Mando. What he's gonna do? Can he go back now to become a bounty hunter again after his whole life's been changed? Then you have Luke. Are we ever gonna see Grogu again? I would say probably not. You probably see him eventually, but I think that, as people like to say, Baby Yoda, Grogu's story is complete. That's it. Now we see what happens. It ends abruptly after that. The credits. I'm left slack-jawed, dumbfounded. I'm just sitting there in silence of the awesomeness that I saw. I'm sure Rocco was as well. And then at the end, where you're waiting for like the visual, the artwork to pop up, it doesn't come up. But we get a scene. We get an additional end credit scene. Rocco, go with that.
And so we have what jars your memory banks and your Star Wars cobwebs to be the lair of Jabba the Hutt. And you have, I guess, another female chained up, similar to how he had before, but somebody else is sitting on the throne. And
Fortuna sitting on the throne.
And there's shots fired, and you're sitting there going, wait a minute, this gotta be Tatooine, right? Or this gotta be, I know this place. And you see one by one of the henchmen being shot, and then there's Fennec. And Fennec sees the chained girl, and of course proceeds to shoot the chain, and she's free to go now. And who trails behind her is none other than Boba Fett. They take care of him. They take care of everybody else. She is proclaimed loyal to Boba Fett for saving her life. So her life is now in his debt. From her face, she kind of likes what she's getting.
Oh, let's not forget, freaking Fennec was assassin for hire.
Yeah. But now she's getting the spoils of war. Again, Boba Fett is a bounty hunter. He's not a true Mandalorian, but he's a bounty hunter. And if you go all the way back into the annals of Star Wars, he's a badass dude. He was paid handsomely to go get one of the most elusive space pirates, namely Han Solo, and delivered the goods. And so he survived the sand monster thingy.
A Sarlacc pit. No.
Thank you.
Exactly.
So he now sits on the throne in his own. This is what, spin-off 4 now?
Yeah, but for all you Star Wars heads from the past, there's these little nuggets that Favreau throws at you, and you're like, whoa. Bib Fortuna was obviously the right hand of Jabba the Hutt. We forget that he survived, so he's taking over for Jabba. So when Boba comes down, he goes, Boba, I had heard you. I'm surprised you're alive. How are you?
Eat laser.
Yeah, eat laser. In no uncertain terms did Boba said he was a good guy. He never said that.
No, he never was a Mandalorian.
Does he have honor? Yes, but there's honor among thieves.
Yes. He put his life on the line to make sure that he delivered his end of the bargain with Mando.
Mando said
the safety to the child.
And he said, I promise you that we will keep safe the child. And he did.
He's a man of his word, but he's also a man of money.
So Boba sits down. Fennec sits next to him. They share a drink, and then you see the crawl Book of Boba coming December 2021, which leads to the little bit of news that I just read today that people were thinking, okay, the theory was that they were afraid that, or they were happy that Mandalorian season 3 was going to shift from the focus of Mando and Djarin to Boba Fett. But then you think, damn, Favreau, Filoni, why would you do that and just make a Boba series? Why take the shine off of Mando? Exactly. The Mando series
It's gonna stand alone.
stand alone, and the Boba series was gonna stand alone as well.
They have hit uranium gold. The fact that they got one series that has brought back a billion plus fold Star Wars dedicated fans. Very few lineages have garnered such dedication, and they have now turned this into 4 series that, of course, everyone is going to tune into, and by that, buy Disney stock.
Yeah, I mean, Boba Fett is filming now, and that's gonna lead directly into Mando. Okay, it's gonna be executive produced by Favreau, Filoni, and Robert Rodriguez, starring obviously Tamora Morrison and Ming-Na Wen.
And they do like every other series that has done so far in the last few decades. They have they brought in dedicated directors for each
Yeah.
episode, so it has a little bit of a different feel, but it has very good polish, and
Oh,
the storyline is awesome.
they bring heavy hitters. This episode, the last episode, was directed by Peyton Reed. And if you guys, obviously, you guys know, Peyton Reed directed Ant-Man and the sequel, so he knows what he's doing.
So we got these episodes coming out. The future looks very good for Star Wars, Mando, everything and above. They already have thrown out there the big bait, which is stay tuned, because when this all wraps up, we're going to have something out there that's probably bigger and badder, or the closest thing to the Empire Strikes Back movie, which probably to me is the best of the Star Wars. Something memorable, iconic, permanence. I mean, historic. You name it. Give it whatever adjective you want. They have rejuvenated the Star Wars line to something ridiculous that it's now must-see TV.
Yeah, you know what? We were gonna get into our rumors and what we think is gonna happen in the following season, but actually we'll leave that for the next video.
We'll save that
We'll
for
save
our next Hollywood Rapid Fire.
a whole time, give you all the time in the world for that, and that's gonna be fun because there's a lot of theories. I'm just gonna leave you with this much: has Star Wars taken back its rightful place as the number one franchise of all time? Has it surpassed Marvel? Think about that for a second. The Mandalorian has brought it all the fever and all the hype and the hoopla and all the good stuff. And now you have no less 4 shows coming out in the next 2 years. You have another movie. You have 3 animated series.
I'll tell you this. It's getting there. If it brings it home to such an epic proportion for this finale they've been talking about, then to me, it will surpass Endgame and all that. Which is another topic for another day, because Raka is not too happy with Endgame and Avengers. But that's another topic. Listen, if you guys have not watched it yet, I don't know what your problem is. Go watch it now. Catch up on the 2 seasons. It's out on Disney. It's the best thing out there. You're going to set yourself up prime for what's coming up. Again, thanks for listening. all our insight, all our stuff. We get jazzed up. We're geeked up about this stuff. Like and subscribe. Remember that. We're here for you. We bring you this stuff. We discuss it and let us know whatever else hits your mind and you want to talk about. I'm Raka.
I'm Izzy. Everybody, this is the way.
May the force be with you.
And save the whales.
And save the whales.
Take care, guys.